this is Michael Phoenix. He's a play-by-play commentator from Australia, all the way from Sydney. He will let you know it's Sydney every single time. And he's been the partner of johnxfire for about 5 years.
And this is Nathan Fernandez, the first Filipino caster to ever make it in the Western scene of Dota 2. He's a certified tight ass, never wants to spend money, and he works as an analyst for Dota 2.
I met Mike around 2017, but my first cast was maybe around 2012. I joined something called Reddit Dota 2 League when they had a Southeast Asian division. And my team had too many people. I was the captain. I was like, you guys play, I'll cast your scrim. And they were like, hey, your casting's pretty good. Tried it a bit. Didn't really chase it until I met Mike again. And meeting Mike was interesting. We met in a place called Echo League, like another amateur sort of Dota 2 league. Yeah, we became friends. One of our friends just didn't co-cast with Mike one time, and he suggested me, and kind of went from there.
Yeah, I was working with John's friend in my first amateur league, which was Echo League, and one day he couldn't cast with me at our scheduled time, so he recommended I work with a guy named John, who I'd really never spoken to at that point. And we casted together for the first time, and I quite enjoyed the chemistry, so I said, you know what, why don't we just keep casting together, because his friend didn't want to really pursue casting, and John just said, well, let's just do it together, and we kind of went from there. Ooh, it's pretty interesting, right? Because Australia doesn't have like a good, it used to have a Dota scene, and the Dota scene now is somewhat dead. So going to trying to become part of the SEA community was kind of weird, but I've always been a big fan of SEA Dota. Like when it comes to TI, obviously I'm always rooting for the SEA teams because it's the closest region to me. I always viewed SEA as the highest mechanically skilled region out of any other region. And it always kind of bothered me that they never got to win TI, or they didn't really win too many majors at the time when I first started. So I guess I kind of wanted to be part of it because I kind of wanted to help it develop and grow, because I felt like there wasn't enough support for the region at the time when I first started. So at first it was very tough because I felt like people weren't very inviting when I first started, but now they've been fantastic. I mean, I'm basically just Southeast Asian now. That's it.
I don't know, like some of the memes in Southeast Asia were a little bit different. Like, you know, it's weird. It makes fun of you, but it's not really directly making fun of you. You know, like back then, the first Indian meme was like Boom ID. Boom was all Indian, boys out of Mumbai, stuff like that. Then they make stuff about Mike, they make stuff about me at that time period. It's like, do they like us? Do they not like us because they're making fun of us? I think that's the one thing. Otherwise, I think, you know, it's Dota is Dota, it crosses regions, but the memes are different.
Didn't they name me, the name they gave me was Mori Lakshmi Patel. That was my Indian name for MLPs. Yeah. I mean, it felt amazing. It was very nerve-wracking at first because it'd been 5 years without meeting each other. So I was quite nervous. I know John was probably quite nervous as well. Then we met each other for the first time, and it just felt very normal. It felt like we'd already seen each other before. It's like, you know, it's been 5 years, you know, so we know what each other are like. So it felt like it just kind of went off from there. And working our first events, the one thing I can say about our first event is it felt so easy because usually when I cast at home, I have to do the observer, I have to do the stream, I have to do the play-by-play, like I'm doing everything, right? So when I have a team that's taking care of the production for me and there's an observer doing all the camera work and I just get to cast, it felt so easy, so easy.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that first meeting was that I was a day late.
Yeah.
So Mike was already there like 2 days ahead. He managed to cast like a series. Everyone's asking, where's John? Where's John? Came in late, typical Filipino time, but it was good. Like finally meeting after 5 years. I think we were expecting to meet like maybe a year earlier. There was something that was supposed to happen, but COVID hit and just kind of stalled out and just figured it, you know, it just happened in Stockholm. That was pretty last minute as well.
Yeah.
Like they came in for the group casters after they announced their main casters. So we didn't even expect to work the event.